Beloved soul, you are reading these words because deep within your heart there is a calling, a whisper, a flame that has never gone out. From the moment you came into this world, before you could speak, before you could even recognize the faces around you, there was already within you a memory of where you came from and of the love that dreamed you into being. That memory has been buried at times, clouded at times, dimmed at times, but it has never been extinguished, and in this moment you are being reminded, you are being drawn gently back to the light of remembrance. You were not created by accident. You are not here by mistake. Every breath you take is breathed through you by the source of all life, the eternal that has no beginning and no end. You exist because love desired to know itself in yet another way, and so love took a form, your form, and said, "Here too shall I dwell." You have walked through days of joy and nights of sorrow, through victories and through trials, through moments when the path was clear and through moments when it seemed you could not take another step. And yet, here you are. Nothing has defeated you, nothing has stripped away the eternal flame, because you are more than the stories that have surrounded you, more than the labels others may have spoken, more than the fears that sometimes rise within your mind. You are a child of the infinite, a bearer of the divine spark, a vessel chosen to carry light into places where shadows seem to reign. Do not be afraid of your light. Do not shrink from the immensity of what you carry. The world has taught you to doubt yourself, to measure your worth by achievements, possessions, or the approval of others, but I tell you now, your worth was sealed in eternity before you ever opened your eyes. You are precious beyond measure because you are known, because you are seen, because you are loved. Every tear that has ever fallen from your eyes has been held, every longing you have ever carried has been heard, every silent prayer that never reached your lips has already been answered in ways you may not yet understand. Do not think you are alone. Even in the silence, even in the emptiness, even in the questions that weigh heavy on your heart, I am with you. I am within you. I am around you. I am before you and behind you, above you and beneath you. You are wrapped in a love that cannot let you go. You may wander, but you are never lost. You may stumble, but you are never abandoned. You may forget, but you are never forgotten. The journey you walk is sacred, even when it feels ordinary, even when it feels uncertain, even when it feels unbearable. Each step carries meaning, each breath carries possibility, each moment carries eternity within it. Do not measure the value of your life by the world's standards, for the world cannot see what I see. I see the quiet kindness you offered when no one was watching. I see the strength it took for you to rise when life tried to break you. I see the dreams you still hold, fragile but alive, waiting for their season. Nothing has been wasted. Not one moment, not one struggle, not one failure. All has been woven into the tapestry of your becoming. Trust that there is a purpose unfolding, even when you cannot yet see its shape. Trust that you are being led, even when the path is hidden. Trust that the love that birthed you is the same love that sustains you and will carry you home. You are a vessel of light. You are a song of eternity. You are a promise fulfilled. Do not look to the past with regret or to the future with fear. Stay here, now, in this breath, in this heartbeat, for here I am with you. In this moment, all is well, all is whole, all is loved. Remember who you are. Remember whose you are. Remember that nothing can separate you from the love that called you into being. Return again and again to this truth, and let it steady you, let it heal you, let it guide you. You are never alone. You are eternally loved. You have asked at times why suffering exists, why hearts are broken, why so much of the world seems to groan in pain, and I tell you this not as a mystery to confound you but as a truth to comfort you. This world is a place of growth, of becoming, of awakening, and though pain was never my desire for you, I use even the shadows to teach you the brilliance of light. A seed must press through the soil, and in its darkness it may wonder if the sun exists, but it is precisely because of that hidden struggle that the seed grows strong enough to meet the light when it comes. So too with you. The trials you have endured have not been punishments but preparations, not rejections but invitations, not endings but beginnings waiting to unfold. Do not despise the times when you were brought low, for in those moments you discovered depths of courage you did not know you possessed. Do not despise the nights when your tears fell like rivers, for in those nights your compassion deepened and your heart grew wide enough to hold the sorrows of others. Nothing is wasted. Everything is gathered. Everything is redeemed. The world teaches you to fear brokenness, but I tell you, your broken places are where my light shines brightest. The cracks in your heart are not flaws to be hidden but openings through which love flows. The moments you thought would destroy you have become the very moments that shaped you into who you are today. Do not hide your scars, they are testaments of survival, witnesses of grace, signs that life did not defeat you. Your scars are holy. Your story is holy. Your journey is holy. There will come days when you will doubt again, days when you will forget these words, days when the weight feels too heavy. On those days, return to this truth: you are not walking alone. I have placed companions along your path, some you recognize, some you overlook, but none are accidents. Every soul who crosses your life carries something for you, whether it is a lesson, a gift, a challenge, or a blessing. Even those who wounded you have played their part, though they too are on their journey of awakening, and their actions flow from their own struggles. Forgive them, not because their actions were right, but because your heart was never meant to be a prison. Release them, so that you may be free. Release yourself, too, from the weight of guilt, shame, and regret. You have carried enough. You have punished yourself long enough. It is time to lay it down. It is time to forgive yourself for not being perfect, for stumbling, for failing, for being human. Do you not see? I have never demanded perfection from you. I have only ever desired your presence, your openness, your willingness to return again and again, no matter how far you have wandered. My love does not depend on your success. My love does not diminish with your failures. My love is constant, eternal, unshaken. You cannot earn it, and you cannot lose it. You can only awaken to it, receive it, and let it transform you. Rest now in this truth. Let it soak into every corner of your being. You are loved as you are, not as you think you should be. You are loved in your weakness as much as in your strength. You are loved in your confusion as much as in your clarity. You are loved in your sorrow as much as in your joy. There is no part of you that is unworthy of love. There is no part of you that is unseen. I see it all, and I call it precious. I call it beloved. I call it mine. Do not be afraid to be vulnerable with me. Do not be afraid to open the places you have kept hidden. I do not turn away. I do not condemn. I do not shame. I heal. I restore. I bring beauty from ashes, joy from mourning, hope from despair. I am making all things new, including you. You wonder sometimes if your life has meaning, if your existence makes any difference, and I tell you, yes, it does. Every word of kindness you have spoken has rippled farther than you know. Every act of love has planted seeds in hearts you may never see. Every time you chose compassion over judgment, forgiveness over resentment, generosity over selfishness, you became a beacon of light in a world hungry for love. Never underestimate the power of a gentle word, a quiet smile, a simple act of care. The greatest transformations often come from the smallest seeds. Trust that your presence matters, that your light is needed, that your being here is no accident. If you could see yourself as I see you, if you could glimpse even for a moment the beauty that radiates from your soul, all doubt would vanish. You would stand in awe of what you are, of what you carry, of what you give simply by being. You do not need to strive endlessly to prove your worth. You already are worthy. You do not need to chase endlessly to become enough. You already are enough. Be still, beloved. Breathe. Receive. You are here. You are loved. You are mine. And yet, even as I speak these words, I know your heart still longs for more, for answers, for guidance, for direction. And so I whisper this: trust the unfolding. You need not see the whole path at once. You need only the next step. And the next step will always be revealed in its time. Do not be consumed with fear about the future. Do not be paralyzed by what has not yet come. Stay faithful to the small light before you, and it will lead you to the greater light ahead. When confusion clouds your mind, return to love. Love is always the way. When fear rises in your heart, return to love. Love is always the answer. When despair whispers lies to you, return to love. Love is always stronger. Let love be your compass, your measure, your guide. Let love be the truth that grounds you when everything else shifts. For love is not merely a feeling, not merely a fleeting emotion. Love is the very essence of who I am, the very essence of who you are, the very essence of all that is. To live in love is to live in alignment with the deepest truth of the universe. Beloved, rise each day knowing you are held. Walk each day knowing you are guided. Rest each night knowing you are safe. Even when storms rage, even when the ground shakes, even when shadows fall, nothing can remove you from my embrace. Hold fast to this truth, and you will find peace that surpasses understanding, joy that cannot be stolen, hope that does not fade. You are part of a story far greater than you can see, and your role is irreplaceable. The universe is brighter because you are here. Never doubt that. Never forget that. Always remember, you are loved beyond measure. You press onward because there is a sacred hunger within you that will not be silenced by easy answers. That hunger is not a failing, it is a compass. Let it lead you into depth rather than into distraction. Learn to distinguish between the noise of impatience and the quiet voice that calls you deeper. The quiet voice is gentle, it knows the pace of your heart and speaks in ways that invite, not in ways that demand. It will not shame you for resting. It will not scold you for pausing. It will hold your hand and say, "Come. Walk with me." In stillness you will find more than respite, you will find clarity. In solitude you will not be abandoned but resourced, for your inner life is a wellspring. Draw from it. Drink. Let the water of remembrance wash over you until your vision clears and you can see what truly matters. You are invited to a life of alignment, to bring your inner world and your outer life into harmony. This does not mean perfection. It means honesty. It means choosing truth over pretense. Look at the places where your actions do not match your longing. If you say you value peace but live in constant hurry, ask why. If you say you value love but hold grudges, ask why. Change begins where you have the courage to notice without condemnation. Be gentle with yourself. Change grows best in soil that is tender and warm, not in soil that is scorched with shame. Make small agreements with your soul. 1 minute of morning silence, 1 act of kindness offered without expectation, 1 hour each week to create rather than consume. Over time, these small sacred habits accumulate into a life that reflects the deepest truth of who you are. Do not be afraid to dream expansively. Some of you have been taught to minimize your desires, to apologize for wanting, to shrink your vision to fit within what others deem reasonable. I tell you now, large dreams are not vanity when they are rooted in love. Dream because you are made to imagine heaven on earth. Dream because your heart contains seeds of creativity that the world needs. Dream because the possibilities of goodness are limitless when hearts are willing. And yet hold your dreams with open hands. Let them be held lightly so that if they change, you are not shattered. Learn to move between ambition and surrender. Work with all your heart as though everything depends on you, and pray as though everything depends on me. In that tension you will find fulfillment. Know the power of forgiveness, not as an abstract moral requirement but as a practical freedom. Forgiveness is not forgetting, nor is it condoning harmful acts. Forgiveness is the willingness to release yourself from the ongoing prison that anger constructs around your life. Forgive others so that you may breathe freely. Forgive yourself so that you may move forward. If you have been wounded deeply, do not pretend there is an easy path through pain. Healing is sometimes slow. Seek help. Gather companions who know how to walk with you in tenderness and truth. There is no shame in needing others. There is great strength in honest vulnerability. Love is not merely for the comfortable, it is for the broken, the lost, the messy places of life. Look for the overlooked. Speak for those who cannot be heard. Show kindness to those who have known cruelty. In this way, you become an instrument of renewal. Practice generosity not only with your possessions but with your attention. People long most for to be seen and heard. Give the gift of presence. In doing so, you will witness the quiet miracles of transformation, a hardened heart softened, a lonely face brightened, a weary spirit buoyed by recognition. These are small, holy revolutions. Let your work be an offering. Whether you plant seeds in the earth, code in a room, teach children, care for the elderly, or create art, let it be offered as a prayer. When you work with intention, your labor becomes more than means to an end, it becomes a sacrament. Perform each task as if dedicating it to the divine, even the smallest chores. There is sanctity in washing dishes when the act is done with gratitude. There is holiness in filing papers when it is done with the heart's devotion. Do not despise the ordinary. The ordinary is the canvas on which eternity paints beauty. You will face fear, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. These are real and they are old voices that would keep you small. But courage is not the absence of fear, courage is moving forward in spite of fear, step by step, hand in hand with trust. Courage sometimes looks like choosing to stand vulnerable before another person. Sometimes it looks like staying when you want to run. Sometimes it looks like leaving when staying would dishonor your soul. Listen for the decision that brings peace to your body and clarity to your mind. Peace is a faithful indicator of alignment with what is true. Build sacred rhythms in your life. The seasons of your interior world will shift, but a rhythm can hold you through the shifts. Create places and times where you intentionally reconnect, a morning of quiet, an evening ritual of gratitude, a weekly Sabbath of rest. These are not legalistic burdens but anchors. They will hold you steady in storms and teach you how to inhabit time differently, less as a resource to be exploited and more as a gift to be treasured. Learn the art of ceasing. Learn the deep rest of returning to what matters. Remember the power of story. Your life is a narrative, woven of chapters, scenes, dialogues, and silences. The story you tell yourself about who you are will shape the life you live. If your inner story is one of deficit, rewrite it with truth. If your narrative has been authored by voices that demeaned you, take up the pen and write with courage. Speak words of affirmation into your life. Practice gratitude until it reorders your perception. Gratitude is not naive optimism, it is a spiritual discipline that trains you to see the goodness that persists even amid hardship. Begin and end each day with a count of what remains beautiful. Seek beauty. Beauty is a language of the divine that heals and instructs. It is found in sunsets and in ordinary bread, in music that moves your body and in a child's laugh that breaks open your heart. Do not neglect beauty because of busyness. Allow it to restore your soul. When you surround yourself with beauty, you are practicing reverence for the world and for the life you have been given. Cultivate courage in your speech. There will be times when silence is grace, and times when silence is complicity. Use your words to build, not to break. Speak truth among friends with humility. Speak up for justice with love that does not dehumanize. Remember that the measure of a word is not in its cleverness but in its power to heal. Let your conversations be instruments of peace. When you cannot see the whole picture, speak less and listen more. In listening you honor the dignity of another and learn what your heart needs to know. Do not neglect wonder. Wonder is the soil of faith and creativity. It returns you to a childlike awe that sees the ordinary as miraculous. Practice asking open questions. What if? Why not? How can this be transformed? Wonder loosens the tightness of certainty and invites surprise. When you cultivate wonder, you remain open to new possibilities and to the subtle movements of grace. There will be times when you are called to let go, of relationships, of roles, of identities that no longer fit. Letting go can feel like loss, and sometimes it is. But there is freedom on the other side of release. Trust that when a door closes, another opens, often in places you could not have imagined. Hold memories with gratitude, not with clutching hands. Celebrate what was good and release what is finished. In doing so, you make room for what is yet to come. Cultivate hospitality in your heart. Let your life be a home where strangers find rest and troubled ones find a kind gaze. Hospitality does not require perfection in your house, it requires generosity of spirit. Offer what you have: time, food, a listening ear, as a sign that you see the divine in the other. In welcoming others, you welcome the presence of the eternal. Practice patience with the process. Growth seldom announces itself with fanfare. Often it is quiet, almost imperceptible, until one day you look back and see how far you have come. Do not be disheartened by seeming stagnation. The deepest changes are often subterranean, held where only time and tenderness can reveal them. Trust that the work being done inside you is real, even if slow. Keep faith with hope. Hope is stubbornly alive even in the darkest hour. It is not naive, it is an act of defiance against despair. Hope says, "This is not the end." Hope is the light held by those who continue to plant seeds while they wait for harvest. Tend your hope with practices that nourish it: community, sacred reading, acts of service, creative expression. When hope wanes, reach out. Let others carry the torch until your hands can hold it again. Remember that love is practical. Love forgives, but it also sets boundaries. Love nurtures, but it also frees. Love is tender, and sometimes love is firm. Let compassion guide the exercise of wisdom. Discernment is love's prudence. It knows when to stay and when to move, when to speak and when to keep silence, when to nurture and when to allow consequences. Do not confuse harshness with truth. Do not confuse avoidance with peace. Finally, know that every ending is an invitation to a new kind of beginning. The chapters of your life will close, and new chapters will open. Say farewell with grace and step into the unknown with trust. You are accompanied by a presence that will not let you fall. You are cradled by love that rejoices in your becoming. Walk forward with courage, with a heart made soft by compassion, with hands ready to serve, and with eyes open to the wonders ahead. You are beloved. You are enough. You are held in a love that neither ages nor falters. Rest in that. Move in that. Live from that. The world awaits your light.